Today I'm chatting with Anka Zapart. Thank you for joining us, Anka.
Thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you.
You've had an interesting and varied career. You've worked in the UK, in Spain, Brazil, Russia. And where are you right now?
At the moment, I'm based in Poland, so I'm in my motherland. Yeah.
Okay. One of my favorites. And you're a teacher and teacher trainer, and you have an unusual speciality, English for VYL. What is VYL exactly?
It is basically teaching English to very young learners, to preschoolers. I mean, the age can vary. It's different in different countries, but it might be 3, might be 4, 5 years old. Basically, anyone who doesn't go to school and who doesn't write and read yet.
Okay. And you've just published an article on the interesting topic of teaching grammar to these very young learners. Yes. Can you tell us about that briefly?
Yes. Basically, for some time, the main focus in teaching very young learners English, or I guess any foreign language, was on teaching vocabulary, developing their listening skills and their speaking skills. But there was a little bit too much focus, I would say, on vocabulary. And there is a lot more that can be done, although, of course, it's not teaching grammar in the same way that we would teach grammar to adults or to even teenagers, because little people have amazing brains, but those brains are not ready for any explicit grammar instruction. And of course, they do not read and write, so they do not have the support of the written word to remember, to understand, and so on. So some other ways have to be found.
Yeah, and you talk about age appropriate ways, don't you?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and I think by my count, I think you had 6 main ideas.
I think so. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. So just briefly, could you tell us about one of those ideas?
Sure. So in general, like teaching anything more than a single word to very young learners is about creating the context in which children can see the point and the connection between what we say and what we do or where we are. But here I'm trying to work on adding some extra support to that for kids to be able to understand. So one of the things that I included in the article is using gesture to help them understand, to help them see the logic behind it on their level. So for example, when we are using even simple sentences, such as "it is a cat," it might be a good idea to, use your fingers to show how many pieces there are, so that to children, it's not just like blah, long blah, made of some sounds, that there are certain bits and pieces that, there's some logic behind it. And for example, when I'm using, when we are, for example, doing present continuous, when we're describing the clothes that we are wearing. So I'm using this because it's highly subjective. I'm wearing a t-shirt, jeans, shorts, etc., etc. Or for example, when we were doing I can see, this was one of the first structures that we did with my current group. So I was doing I can see, and something. Of course, this is highly subjective, the gesture that you decide to use, and it makes sense within the classroom walls.
Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting. And I really do recommend our readers see your article, read your article for those and get those other ideas.
Thank you.
Teaching grammar for this.
Thank you very much.
Level. Anka, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the invitation once again. Yes.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.